Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your data buddy Kingsley. Today I have come to fulfill my previous promise in my last video when I said I'm going to come up with 5 applications of index and match. Here I bring it to you, but instead of giving you 5, I decided to reduce it to 3 with a very important bonus which you may want to stick around to see at the end of this video. Now, in our last video, we briefly discussed index and match and talked about how it is better compared to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Index and match is essentially a step up to VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. And today I will walk you through 3 business case studies of using index and match. I am going to start from a very simple one to the complex one, and I'm going to try my best to make it very simple. Okay, so let's start with the first case scenario. I will open my slide here and we take it. The number 1 case scenario is a tech retail store needs to look up the price of specific items quickly when customers inquire at checkout. You know how it is when customers come up, they pick up something, they quickly ask you, how much is this? It is important that you have a system that you can easily look up the price and tell the client. Now, the store uses a list of items in Excel and their prices. So the question is, find the price of an item. Example of this item is laptop. And now this is one of the simplest use of index and match, and let's go into the Excel sheet and deal with this case scenario. So here I am with my first business case study. I have the item here. This is where I want to have it, and the price. This is the item column and this is the price. The way I like going about it is to make it easy so that when I'm even looking for something, it will be easier for me to access it. So with this, I'm going to create a drop down. To create a drop down, I'll click where I want it to be because I want to create a drop down for items, and go to data validation. I'll click data validation and we have it here. What I want is drop down. So I want to list, and this is where I want my list to be. So click here and pick everything here. At this point, that's what I want, and I'll say okay. So you can see the down arrow here showing that there is a drop down, and when I click on it, you see all my information. Now let's go and look for the price of laptop, and we can also look for the price of anything here. So let's go. I'll start with my index. I am looking for the array, which is actually the final output price. So I will click here, hold my control shift key down arrow to get all the range where we have data. The next is row number. Now in place of this row number, we use the match. That's where it comes in. So match. Now with match, we want to look up the value here. Remember, that's our data validation that has the drop down list. Okay, so I will put a comma and the lookup array. That's where this item is, and it's here, item. I'll click here, hold my control shift down arrow. I have all the array and I'll separate with a comma. What I want is exact match. Most times what you want for this type of case scenario is exact match. All right, so and I will close it for the match and I'll close it for index and my enter key. Now it shows NA that is not a number. Now, why does it show that? Remember, what I have is a data validation. I have a drop down list. I haven't really selected any. Now, when I select any, like laptop, then you will see it pick it up, and that's the laptop. If I go and select any other thing, like mouse, it picks up the price, and that's the price of mouse. So all I need to do is come in here and go to home and change it to currency, and I have it. And that is it. That is a first case scenario. And with this, it becomes easy to really quickly pick up. And somebody comes, okay, I want to know the price of RAM. I'll just drop down and quickly go to RAM. I have the price. It's $317. That's how easy it is. All right, so let's move on to the next business case, and that is An electronics store has two main product categories. That's category one, which is the computers, and category two, which is the accessories. Now, each is managed in separate sheets. What the question here is, find the price of smartwatch in category two. So this is a very simple case, but in this case, we are working with two sheets, which is a true case scenario you will likely find at your workplaces. Okay, so this is my computer parts and this is my accessory. But I want to get all I need from this page. I don't have to keep moving to all the different pages. I can have everything from here. So let's go in and have it. So I can go and I'm going to do for accessory. All right, so let's go. Like we did in the first case study, we did a drop down list. So I'm going to quickly go and do a drop down list for my accessories. And that's so simple. Now let's go in and do for this. This is accessories and accessories are here. So let's go accessories, data validation and data validation. So I will pick my list and now I will go to my accessories. So I'll come on here and click accessory. Now what we want is this, and that's it. And I will say okay. So I have it. First, I will look for the price of the accessory. That's what, since that is what we are looking for here. So I will go equal to index, and I have that. What I'm looking for is the price of the accessory, and accessory is in the other sheet. So we go to the other sheet and it has picked it up here. So what I did is the price. So I'll pick it there, function box, and separate it with a comma. Now the next thing to do is to bring in our match. So I'll go in and I bring in the match function, and so the match needs a lookup and the lookup value is in the other sheet. So I'll just quickly go into the other sheet. The lookup value is here in accessory. We may not see it, but it's there as if we had already created the drop down list. So I'll click on it. It has picked it up and I'll put a comma. The accessories in the drop down list is again on the in the accessories sheet. So let's go in and pick it up. So I'll come in here. This is what we're looking for. I will select it and separate it with a comma. And the next is I want an exact match. I'll close the match and I'll close the index. And again, it says the value is not available. This is because we have not selected any value. So let's go in and select the value from here. Click and I will select like a flash drive. So I'll pick it up and we have it 270, and all I need to do is to click on it, come here, change it to currency, and we have it. So let's go and confirm 270. Come in here, flash drive. That's it, 270. And that's how easy it is to go about this. Now, the main question says get the price of any of the items from the accessories. That's why we didn't bother ourselves with this, but we could also get the price for any of the item on these computers. Now remember, that's just like repeating the first scenario. So in this scenario, we have been able to get data from a different sheet, and it's a little bit tricky, but it is very interesting and straightforward. All right, so that is it. Let's keep on the momentum and go to the number 3 case scenario. And the number 3 says the HR department maintains a list of employees with the employee ID, name, department, and quarterly performance in a percentage. Now, what is John Smith's performance in quarter 3? Now, this could be a little bit tricky, but let's go and do it. I am so excited. I'm so pumped up. I want to do it. Let's go in there and pick up scenario 3. This is the data set. We have the employee name, department, and the different performance in different quarter. Now we want to get the employee name. We want to dynamically pick up a quarter and see the performance. Pick an employee, pick a quarter, and get their performance. So let's dive in. The first, the way I like doing it to make things easy is to bring in data validation. So you don't have to keep typing out everything. Again, I will click there and go to data validation, pick it up, and what I want is name. Hold my shift control key down arrow to pick up the range, and I'm good with that. So I'm going to pick up quarter again. Now this is from top to bottom, which is selecting all the rows in a column, but this time around I will pick all the columns in this row, but that's for quarter. So let's go to data validation again, and what I want is list, and I want to see what I'm doing. So what I want is Q1 to Q4, and that is it. Okay, so I have it Q1 to Q4, and I have this all the names of the employees. So let us move in and do the work. First, let us go in, say equal to index. All right, so what we are looking for is the performance. This time around, not just one column. We want all the columns from quarter one to quarter four. So we click here, hold shift and control key down to the bottom and right to get all the range. So I am happy. Now the next is the row number. So in place of row number, we will do our match. So we do our match. Now, what I want for this is to get a lookup for the name. So which is here, and you already know we have it here. We've already added the information here, but it's in a list. Again, it's in a drop-down list. That's why you're not seeing it. No one is selected already. So I will pick it up, and the lookup array is here because it is named. So it's here. Hold my control shift down arrow to select everything and comma. And what I want is exact match. Okay, I will close it. Now, the next thing here is as soon as I close it, if I put an arrow, notice that the column argument comes up for us to use. We have used the row, now it's time to use the column. And that is where the quarter one to quarter four comes in handy. So let's use it. Okay, again, it's only asking for the position of a thing. So that is why we're using a match. So I will use match again. And this time around, what I want is the quarter. So I will select here. That is my lookup value. And the lookup array is just here. This 4 column in one row. So, and I will separate with a comma and go for exact match. So I'm going to close that match and then close the entire index. And that way I will say I am okay. All right. So as you know, because we've not selected anything, that's why we have this NA. That's not a problem for us. So let's move on and select. Let's go back again before we select and see what the question is. What is John Smith's performance in quarter 3? Okay, so let's move on. John Smith, let's get you. This is John Smith, and we go to quarter 3, and we have it. Okay, it's in percentage, so let's convert this to percentage. All we need to do is to go home and click here, 57%. That's really poor. But let's look for John Smith first. This is John Smith, and quarter 3 is 57%, and that is just amazing. Let me right align it and right align this. Good. So I think it's much more consistent now. All right, so that's it. If I chose to pick Chris Lee for quarter 4, and that's it, 59%. And let's look for Chris Lee. That's Chris Lee, and quarter 4 is 59%. And that is how sweet this index and match is. And that is the 3 scenario. Guys, before I go to the bonus, if you're getting value from this video, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. If it is your first time coming to my YouTube channel, remember to subscribe and join this amazing family. We are growing, we are getting better. And in this channel, all I teach you is what you will need at workplace to fulfill your day-to-day tasks at your workplaces. They are real-time business scenario. You will use it anytime, any day. So learn it. They are good skills for you. All right, so let's go to the bonus I have prepared for you. Okay, the bonus says a financial analyst needs quarterly sales data for products across different regions. Now, this had to do with, again, multiple criteria, but this is a bit tricky. This multiple criteria is a bit tricky. The first multiple criteria we did in scenario 3, it's quite easy. It's quite easy and straightforward, but this is a bit tricky. So, but let's go into it. A financial analyst needs quarterly sales data for products across different regions. The sales data is recorded dynamically by products, region, and quarter, and this data grows over time. Now, what we want is that find the quarterly sales for tablets in the East region during quarter 3. Take note of that. Quarterly sales for tablets, that's the first thing, in the East region during quarter 3. That is what we are going to dive in right now. All right, so let's go there. And this is the bonus. We have the products, region, then of course we have the quarter and the sales. And you know the way I do it, I would like to put everything in a list. So I'll go to data and data validation. That's my products, pick it up, products, hold my control shift down arrow, and I'm happy with that. I will go to the next one, region, data validation. And my region is this, control shift down arrow, and I'm happy. Then the next thing is quarter. So I will go data validation and this. Okay, so that is my quarter, control shift down arrow, and I am happy. So when you look at this, you see 4 quarters and 4 region. Then we have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products. Okay, let's go. And you can see this. This is laptop. This is not region, quarter 1. And we can still see laptop again. Laptop here. All right, laptop here, East region, quarter 2. Laptop here, not region, quarter 3. And these are the different sales. So let's go in and get this rolling. Okay, so again, equal to index. Now we are looking for the sales. So I will hold my control shift down arrow. I have all the sales separated with a comma, and in the place of row, I will put my match. Now, here is where it gets a bit tricky. Just pay attention the way I go about this. Okay, so the lookup value is this, is products. Now, instead of just picking a one after the other, I will say product, then an ampersand, region, another ampersand, and then I will pick up my quarter. Now, the reason for doing this is so that they work together. When you pick one, it searches for the next one that corresponds to it. So when I pick laptop, I pick not, and then quarter 1, it gives me the corresponding sales quarterly sales. So that's the whole idea doing this. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is comma. Now, having picked these 3 things, the lookup array will still have to be the 3 columns. This is the way I will go about it. Please pay attention. So I will come in here, hold my control shift for the products, down arrow. I have pressed the down arrow to get all the products, but I'm not going to do the right arrow to get both region and quarter. This is because they are independent, but they work side by side to get the right result. So what I will do, just like in the lookup value, I will separate it with an ampersand, and then I will go click here on the region, control shift, down arrow again, separate it with an ampersand, go to quarter, control shift, down arrow, and that's it. Okay, I'm done picking everything, and I will separate it with a comma and get my exact match. Close it for match and close it for index, and enter. So we have NA, and you know what it is. We have not selected anything yet. So let's do this. But before we do it, it's important that we go back and know what the question is. So let's get it. The question is question from our bonus. So let's do this. Find the quarterly sales for tablets in the East region during quarter 3. So the product is tablet. Select tablet. The region is East. We select East, and the quarter is 3. and we have 15,373. Okay, so let's find out what this is. Okay, that's tablet, East region, and quarter three. That is correct. Let's pick up another one. East region, quarter one, the same tablet. East region, quarter one, and we have 11,584. How about we go monitor, and perhaps we go West region? Quarter one, we have 19,167, and that is monitor, and that is the amount, and everything is correct. But one thing is missing here. If I go to the region and I pick East, we get NA. That's not really clean. That's because there's no record for that particular region in quarter one for monitor. So what do we do at this point? I will at this juncture introduce if NA. So if NA is one of Excel's enormous fantastic functions that really come in handy in cases like this, so as to control the error and give us a much more descriptive way of presenting things when they are not found. And to do that, we will put it at the beginning so as to control the entire calculation. So let's do this. So if in this if we have if error, if any, and ifs. So what I want is if any, because that's what we are looking for. Now in this case, it wants to take value. This value represents our entire calculation that returns sales. And then when the value is not available, it wants another thing. And that thing it wants is what we want to give to it. We want to present a text and say no sales recorded. That's what I want, and I will close the if NA function and we hit enter, and that is it. No sales recorded. But wherever the sales is recorded, let's go to West. It gives us the answer. Where it is not recorded, it tells us no sales recorded, and that is it. Real-time case scenario with index and match. And these things are things you see every day at your workplace. Now, if you find value in this video, remember to give it a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. Remember to ring the bell icon so that you'll be the first to know when I post any video. And if this is your first time visiting my channel, please consider subscribing. Join this amazing growing family. What I dish out here are things you will use at your workplace, or if you're not yet working, things that will help you prepare yourself for the position of data analyst. And to my returning subscribers, you are amazing. You are the MVP. Remember to share this with your friends and bring them on here. Let's grow. And until I meet you again, please keep analyzing.